Right, so today I am absolutely buzzing, and I've been buzzing all day because this evening, just as Sophie arrives, we are going to spend a big wad of cash. That's the bit I'm not excited about, but the wad of cash is going to get us probably some of the most important building blocks of this E36 V8 swap project. That's really what's going to get the ball rolling. All I need is the engine mounts and subframe and a wiring harness for this car to, in theory, run and sit in the engine bay. Obviously it's not that simple, but the car will need a gearbox mount fabricating up, custom length prop fabricating up, wiring harness tucked away, cleaned up and stuff. And obviously I've still got to redo the full engine, redo the full chassis, but if I can get the engine in there, that means I can get a measurement for a prop, fab up a gearbox mount, and have the bulk of the difficult stuff out of the way already before I start prepping the chassis and prepping the engine. So I am absolutely buzzing because the parts that we're picking up today make this project feel more real than picking the engine up did, if that makes sense. Having just an engine and a car sat next to each other is one thing, like that there, that I've been saying I'm going to build up, put all of its accessories on, haven't, to go in the car that's sat behind it. But it's a bare shell. There's no engine mounts, no gearbox. Well, I've got gearboxes, but there's no engine mounts, prop, interior, electrics, anything like that. Once you start getting everything to fit this engine in this car with the gearbox and everything that will make it work, that is what makes it feel real. So enough waffling. Sophie's on her way here now, and we're going to go grab some bits for this car, which I'm absolutely buzzing for, and I will show you them when we get back with them. Hilariously as well, this engine was bought a couple of months back, and funnily enough, the guy that I bought it off is also the guy that I'm going to see today to buy the parts that I need for this M62 that I've bought over here. So it seems as though me and him are following each other's footsteps quite often.
3 hours later.
I'm back. Sophie's gone home, but I was far too excited about everything that we've bought to wait till another day to dig through it all. So, what have we got? A lot. Well, not a lot, but a lot for our money. I'll start off with this. This is a new oil pump. Genuine. These go for a sickening amount of money, but we've managed to get this off of who is now a friend, basically, because as I said, we've ended up buying quite a lot of stuff off of him, and he's sorted us out really nice with it. This I need because the Range Rover engines, Land Rover engine, X5 engine is a mid-sump, which obviously there is a subframe in the way. So the sump comes off, you get a custom sump, and this is a front mount oil pump. This goes on the front of the engine like it would on an M54 or 52 or 50, etc. So that makes the engine clear the subframe, along with some subframe modifications that you get in the swap kit, blah, blah, blah. But that's not here yet. That will be coming. Just Google how much one of these costs. M62 oil pump. If you can find one, the price will make you want to throw up. Clutch. There we go. ZF. No, that's a Sachs. There we go. ZF aftermarket. Sachs clutch. Just a nice and simple OEM style one. Full kit though, got release bearing with it. And then friction and pressure plate, which is all built to suit. I would pick it up, but I can't be arsed. There's a ZF gearbox down there. It's out of a 330 Ci E36. So that's a 5-speed ZF box, exactly the same as what's in that 330 that I'm looking at there. That will bolt right up to this. What's inside here? I'll show you what's inside here. That is a custom flywheel with actually a removable friction plate on it as well, which is really cool. So you can just replace those in the future if you ever have to buy a new one. So hopefully the engine lasts long enough to replace this one day. And then the billet aluminium adapter plates. So that's M60 side or M62, either or, same thing. And that's the gearbox adapter. And this kit specifically is really cool because it fits the M60 and the M62 engine, and it also bolts directly up to any M50, S50, M52, S54, M54 or M57 gearbox. So you've got a massive selection of different, like you can, if you really wanted to risk it, you could run a 5-speed Getrag. So a £50 gearbox that you can find on Facebook Marketplace, you could bolt up to that engine. But I don't want to have to be pulling the gearbox off after I've blown it up within the first week. So we've gone for the ZF because it was a very good price. And then the last thing, which is quite niche, but also again very expensive to buy, and we'll probably only ever use it once. But Lado had it, and it would have just sat going to waste if he kept it. That is a full timing kit for an M62. TUB44 more specifically, which is what we've got. And that will come in handy for when I do the timing chains and guides, because they are a pig to align apparently. So can't wait for that. But at this point, all I'm waiting on now is the actual swap kit. So the subframe brackets to modify the subframe, engine mount arms, and the materials to modify that oil pump to make it suitable for the custom sump. But yeah, I need that. And then I need to figure out what needs to be done to the wiring side of things to make that engine compatible with an E36. And in theory, it would be a running car. Driving, no, because you need to do the prop lengthening. Driving, no, because you need to do the prop lengthening. I'm pretty sure you need to make them longer because you have to put the engine further forward in the bay. It shouldn't affect handling too much, because if you think these have 6 cylinders in them, so putting the 4 cylinders in an E36 don't go past the shock towers. So a V8 being moved slightly further forward than a 6-cylinder mounting is probably only the same as a 6-cylinder mounting because it's a shorter engine. So I'm not too worried about that. Right, and so it's a new day. I've got all the parts here. I've already got Sophie cracking on with cleaning up the ZF. Look at that. Stuff like that. I don't know. I can't decide whether it satisfies me or I'd hate to be the person doing it, put it that way, but it's
You
very
asked
satisfying.
me to do it.
Yeah, exactly. So all that's still there, but I'm going to tackle this. Just get all of the stuff out that I know isn't going back in. Just bits and bobs really, because I don't want to take too much of the stuff out that needs to go back in just yet, because it won't be going back in anytime soon, and that'll be a nightmare trying to remember everything. But aircon lines, they're all going to come out. 30-second job. Engine mounts, because I don't need these. We'll be putting solids in it, and that one's chuffed.
Fucking chuffed.
All this disgusting heat shielding and stuff. That's all coming out. Well, everything's coming out at some point because I'm going to paint bay. The car's getting painted.
I'm stronger than I thought. I just pushed it a little bit and it over. We've finally, it seems, possibly put the nail in the coffin on a colour today.
Yeah, maybe. I guarantee it changes another 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times before we actually come to paint it. But I think we've decided on one. And then if Sophie bottles it on painting her car, the colour that we keep talking about painting that next time, it's going to go that colour instead. But for now, I'm focusing on making everything else look nice and pretty. Like that. Right, that'll do for tonight. It might not seem like I've took a lot out, and to be honest I haven't, but there's not really that much left in there. But aircon lines are gone, all the heat protection and sound deadening is gone, plastic clips, everything all out, ready for cleaning up, and prepping the bay. Then the next stuff that will be going on in here is figuring out an ABS delete, and then everything will come out, and that's when the bay will get painted.
Meanwhile, I got dirty.
Sophie's
Been shot.
yeah, been shot by the wire wheel plenty of times, but it's almost better than brand new, that.
Brand new part one.
I dread to think how part one that is, but cool. I'm not carrying on because I'm at the point now where I need to make a big mess, and I can't be asked to clean up a big mess tonight, can you?
When do you ever clean up the big messes anyway? When?
So, see you on another day. Right, so E36 engine bay is stripped out partially, and it's been washed out. It's had a good scrub, got all this covered in like this weird tarry stuff, and oil and power steering fluid and everything else that an E36 usually leaks. So all that's out. The last few things I actually want to get out are the steering shaft, but I want to get that out when it's going to be staying in one place. The ABS pump, the brake servo, and the fuse box. The fuse box is a nightmare to get out of these. Basically everything is coming out, but I'm not going to take absolutely everything out on camera because it will just be one massive video of getting everything out. So,
And that's pretty boring.
yeah, I mean, we'll get all that stuff out and then sort of make a video of prepping the engine bay for paint, because I think that's something that quite a lot of people don't ever see of a build. I don't want to go like crazy with a shaved bay on it or anything, but
Kind of like we did with mine.
yeah,
just tidy it up.
just neater. Get rid of some brackets that are not going to be needed anymore. These parts have seen better days, so I'm going to decide whether or not I want to cut them out completely or just fix them up. And yeah, basically get everything in primer, because we've still not picked a colour for it yet.
No, we've got some colours that we have in mind. However, it's a little bit torn because we have a multitude of cars to paint a different colour, including my own. And the colour Jack wants to paint this is like the colour is my top 1 or 2 painting mine next. So
We like the same stuff. That's the big issue. And I mean, we were going to paint all the cars techno violet at one point, just because
that was always meant to be techno violet, but
yeah, that was always meant to be techno violet along with mine. But then we went into the paint shop to buy techno violet, and that was on the top.
and it was the colour that my 46 was when I picked it up about 2.5 years ago now. 3 years ago nearly.
Yeah, before wrapping it. But yeah, long and short of it is, I'm just going to carry on off camera, just because it's all the boring stuff. And then I'll get into doing a video of properly showing what goes into prepping an engine bay for paint, and how much shit you've got to take out in reality, because it's not a half-an-hour job, especially not when you're pulling the brake servo out and everything. But the plan is I want absolutely everything on this car to look brand new, so it's got to come out to get refreshed to go back in. So yeah, that's where we're at. Got some more parts on the way soon. Just got to get my drift day out of the way first.
We should have some more exciting E30 content soon as well. We've got kind of everything's ready for the next bit of that, and it'll be paint time for that too, but that's staying its OEM colour.
Yeah, so in an ideal world, we'll have this engine bay ready for paint at the same time as having the E30 ready for paint too, which stresses me out, because that's a lot of prep.
You say it like you do any of the prep, it's all me.
Oh wow,
I'm
yeah,
the prep lady.
Of course it is. Yeah, of course it is. That's a hell of a lot of paint prep, but we'll get through it, and have a blast doing it, I'm sure.
Whoops.
Won't we, Doug?
We've had a blast painting that, we've had a practice.
Yeah, that's the practice.
This
we know
has
what
been
to
the
do.
practice car, that's been the practice rebuild, resto, engine swap, paint. We've practiced on my own personal car, and yeah, why not have another go?
But yeah, as I say, got the adapter plate and everything to get the engine and box in. This is what the box is looking like now after Sophie cleaned it up for me. So that is the sort of level of cleanliness I'm going for everything on this car, just to give you an idea. There's a little stack of parts, and then the actual engine swap kit should be coming early next month, which will really start to push progress ahead of actually getting the engine in the car and being able to fit everything up. And then once I know that everything fits and I'm happy with everything, that's when I'll strip the engine down, get that sent off for any machining work that he's doing, cleaning up, and build it back up and have it in the car as a brand new one. So yeah, that'll do for this video, and that'll do for me talking as well, because it's probably not that entertaining. But yeah, we shall see you in the next one when we decide what else we're going to do. Bye.